Today on Dr. Phil.
We're driving drunk.
It only took 6 seconds to go from laughter to dead silence.
Dessalines was the only survivor of a crash that killed both friends.
She still wants to party. She still wants to drink.
Do you have a death wish? Have you gotten in cars since then with drivers who are drinking?
Yes, I have.
I want to show you something. This is a video of what appears to be a normal night out. Friends having a good time, dancing and partying. The problem is they're teenagers. They're drunk and about to get in a car. 3,000 pounds of metal careening down the road. What's different about this story is that every second of what you're about to see was captured on tape.
We're driving drunk. We got tonight. We know where we go. Yes.
Pick University Boulevard. This thing's not moving.
We need emergency right now. There's people trapped in the car. There's 3 people in there?
Yes, all 3 of my son, my sister-in-law, and my nobody's moving. He's not moving. He looks dead. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, the way. Oh my God, he looks dead. Oh my God, he looks dead.
Hey, stop this. We're going to get you out in a minute, okay?
A horrific late-night crash. 2 young women are dead and another's in the hospital.
Friends say that these women were coming home from a party. Their vehicle went off the road, it hit the fence, and then it hit this brick embankment.
During the crash, they hit the brick so hard, the SUV crumbled. Parts flew into the tree, and even the power lines.
Everyone is devastated.
Tamara Johnson was just 19. Police say she was sitting in the back seat. The driver, Janice Richards, was 22. Both died at the scene. The only survivor is 18-year-old Dessalines James. They crashed just 1.5 miles from Dessalines' house.
Well, the only survivor of that horrific car crash is that young woman, Dessalines, whose life will never be the same.
On December 29th, there was this new club that opened. So we decided after work that we were gonna go out to the club. I was with 2 of my friends, one of them being my roommate and my best friend, and another girl who was her coworker. My dad got me a new video camera. I recorded everything. I remember dancing, having fun.
Please go to your car and drive home safe.
I remember we were driving home. We're driving drunk. We got tonight. We know where we go. Yes. When I woke up in the car after the accident, I called Tamara's name 3 times. I remember her not answering me, but I was stuck. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I knew trouble, but I didn't know death. I remember them covering my face, and I remember the fireman lifting me out the car after they cut the door open. And I remember him lifting me onto the stretcher. When I went to the hospital, that's when they were like, you were in a serious car accident. The police came into the room. I was like, where's Tamara? And he was like, wait, nobody told you yet? They're dead. I just broke down. I was in the hospital for 5 days. My left hip was injured. I couldn't walk. I suffered from short-term memory loss. And when I got out, I was in a wheelchair. A lot of times when I would go to sleep, I would have nightmares. It's now going on 2 years. I do have some nights where I stay up and I think about them. I think about what happened. The one thing about the accident that I can't get out of my mind is seeing my friend's dead body, seeing my friend take her last breath.
Well, even though she was discharged from the hospital after 5 days and began the road to physical recovery, she says her emotional scars are still raw and far from healed.
After the accident, I kind of had survivor's guilt, knowing that my best friend died. Tamara deserved the life more than me. What was really unfair about that night was I felt like she didn't deserve to die because she wasn't a drinker, she didn't drink, and her life was taken. The hardest part about moving on after I got out of the hospital was going back to an empty house, having to pack her stuff up. I would go there to cry. I would go to her grave to talk to her. She was my friend that I spent like 99% of my time with.
Well, Desalene, I'm glad to meet you, but I'm sorry for the circumstances under which we're doing it. And I'm sorry for your loss. You lost two very good friends. Who was it on the tape that says, "We're driving drunk tonight"?
Me.
What was the exact quote?
If we die tonight, we know where we're going.
How do you feel about hearing yourself say that now, after the fact?
Well, at first I felt guilty because I kind of felt like I jinxed us in a way.
How were you able to get in the club and buy alcohol underage?
It was easy, you know. At the time, it was really easy. You just pay at the door and you go in.
This is a video snapshot of the last moment your best friend was alive. Now, this was taken in the car, and she's happy and alive, and y'all are having a really good time.
Yes.
Did you make mistakes that night?
Yes, I did. No.
What was wrong? What did you do wrong?
I got into the car knowing that Janice was drunk. I got into the car. I drank. That was wrong.
Well, it's interesting that you start your explanation there. I have one goal here, and that's to help you get better. But to do that, I have to know where we're starting. And I said, what did you do wrong that night? And you said, well, got into the car knowing the driver was drinking. You didn't say going to a club underage. You didn't say getting drunk and impairing my own judgment. You didn't have any problem with any of that. It was just getting in the car. Was there a reason that you didn't mention that you, A, shouldn't have been there to begin with, B, were committing a crime, drinking underage? Do those things matter to you at all? Do you think about it that way?
No, I don't see it that way. Yeah. I don't see nothing wrong with going to the club. Maybe drinking underage, I see something wrong with that. But I just went out to have fun.
It was breaking the law to do what the two of you that were underage were doing. How old was the driver?
22.
And your friend was 19. And she wasn't drinking at all. Why not?
She's not a drinker. She doesn't like alcohol.
She looked like she was sure having fun.
Yes.
How about you? Can you have fun without drinking?
I can try.
But do you generally, or do you feel like you need to be drinking to party?
I mean, I've never had fun sober.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never had fun sober. Why do you think that is?
Because when you're a little tipsy, you have more fun.
That's shocking to me to hear you say. And I haven't had a drink in probably 40 plus years, and I have a hell of a good time. So I know it's possible to do that. But this happened 2 years ago, and you said your mistake was getting in the car with a drunk driver. Have you gotten in cars since then with drivers who are drinking?
Yes, I have.
Wow. How do you explain that?
I can't explain it. I was more cautious. I made sure that they were driving straight, I guess.
Straight?
I spoke to them. I was like, you know what happened to me in the past, and they assured me that they were fine.
Well, Desaline says her life took another unexpected turn after she contacted the local news in an effort to help other teens. Take a look at this.
One day, I was watching the news. I remember Andrea McCarran popped up on our TV.
Andrea joins us live to show us a place teenagers have allegedly been buying alcohol for years.
It is illegal to sell under 21.
No ID, no stay.
I remember emailing Andrea, and I was like, I would like to share something with you. I would like to help.
Even though she's just 18, Desaline said it was no problem getting alcohol.
Maybe I'm here to save somebody else. The rules and the limitations on going into the club, they weren't so strict on alcohol, but after they were.
You're about to see and hear two young people die.
Three exuberant young women hurtled from sheer joy to this in just 6 seconds.
Most people were upset about the fact that the video went viral and felt like I should have respected my best friend and my friend's death. My intentions were not to impact the family any worse than they were already impacted by it.
We agonized over whether to show it, but the young woman behind the video camera urged us to do so. She hopes, as we do, that it will save someone's life.
Okay. Now, how do you think you're doing adjusting to this?
Well, at first, when the accident first happened, I was like, okay, well, maybe if I help other people, then I would get over it. But then after I did that, nothing changed. I didn't feel better about myself. I didn't I still had survivor's guilt. So I just stopped doing that for a while, and I just went into this phase where I went back drinking. It was my I didn't care phase. I didn't care about life.
I understand. But you're angry. But you say you're not angry about the accident. Were you angry before the accident?
I think I'm angry at God or whoever caused the accident.
Now, there were two people who saw that news piece that we just had a look at who have major concerns for Desaline's life. Now, they're here, and I'm going to add them to this conversation when we come back.
I am concerned that Desaline is on a self-destructive path.
She likes to party, going off, drinking for days at a time.
Desaline has a problem with anger.
She wants to kill whoever made her upset.
If Desaline does not change her path, she could lose her life.
And later, I'm not ignorant.
No, you're not being ignorant. You're just irritating.
And I am listening to you. Mm-hmm. I'm here to help you.
When the accident first happened, I just started living reckless because I was just angry. I blamed everybody except for me and my two friends. I admit that sometimes I do have fits of rage and anger. I become a different person. When I get angry, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna fight you. I'm not pulling your hair. I'm not slapping you. I'm gonna fight like men. When I have a fit of rage, I black out and I'm out for blood. You see the devil in me.
Well, that was Desaline, the sole survivor of a drunk driving car accident that killed her two friends 2 years ago. It only took 6 seconds to go from laughter to dead silence. Now, since the accident, Desaline says things have gone from bad to worse. Then, strangers stepped up. They offered to help.
We heard Desaline's story on the news.
Desaline was just 18, videotaping a night of partying from the front passenger seat of a friend's car, when the life she had known was shattered in a matter of seconds.
I'm still in denial.
Desaline was the only survivor of a breathtaking crash that killed both friends.
What struck me the most about her story was that at such a young age, she had lost her friends in a car accident that could be best described as horrific.
Where I'm at now, it would have been better if I had died.
That was Dessalene less than 5 months ago, when her life had taken another devastating turn. Her mother threw her out of the house when she learned Dessalene was pregnant.
Everybody turned their backs on me. My life has gone completely downhill.
When I heard Dessalene was homeless and pregnant, I knew we had to help her.
Brenda contacted the reporter, and we changed the guest room into her bedroom, and here we are. I am concerned that Dessalene is on a self-destructive path.
She likes to party, going off drinking for days at a time.
Dessalene's lifestyle includes what she calls the trap life, where you party, you drink, you smoke, and it's all about going 100 miles an hour all the time.
Most of the time when she goes out and she comes back, she's high.
Dessalene has a problem with anger.
When Dessalene's raging, she wants to kill whoever made her upset.
She will say things like, I will have you and your whole family killed, I'll walk over someone's grave.
Most recently, Dessalene was in a fight at work with another young lady in the parking lot. The police were called.
I told Dessalene that if she gets arrested, I'm not bailing her out.
Stop calling my phone or I'm gonna cuss y'all out. Bye.
With Dessalene's anger problems, I've been concerned that she would hurt someone in the house.
If Dessalene does not change her path, she could lose custody of her son. She could lose her life. Dessalene is saying that she wants success, but I don't think she knows how to get there.
Well, Brenda, Michael, I'm glad to meet the two of you, and God bless you for stepping up in this young girl's life. What moved you to do that?
Every time I see that video, I kind of cry, you know? And I made a comment to my family when it first aired, and then my wife said that she would follow up, and she got in contact with the correspondent, and everything moved from there.
Are y'all glad that you've come to know her and that you've taken her in?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about the fact that they stepped up and took you in?
I'm okay with it. I'm glad.
You're okay with it?
I'm happy.
You're still not drinking age, but do you feel like you drink too much?
I drank, but I don't drink. I don't think I drink too much. I might drink too much the time when I'm drinking, but not every day.
You said it helps you numb the pain.
Yes.
How many seconds do you think it took for your friends to die?
Well, 6.
And you feel guilty that you're still here?
Yes, sometimes I do.
Do you have a death wish?
No, I don't.
Because you seem to be behaving in a reckless fashion to me. And one of the things I know about people that are reckless is they're not just daredevils. There's a segment of that group that just doesn't really care. It's just kind of like, I probably don't deserve to be here anyway. I mean, I probably shouldn't have survived, so, you know, what the hell? Do you have an attitude about that?
Sometimes I do.
And what is it? What is that attitude? What do you say to yourself sometimes?
I don't care.
About?
Anything.
Yeah.
Including whether you live or die?
Maybe, yeah.
Do you think she has a death wish?
I wonder.
How about you, Brenda?
No, I don't think so.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not. I made some notes because I wanted to see if this was right. Would you agree that you're still out there partying?
Yes.
And you say there's nothing wrong with that. It's just girls having fun, right?
Yes.
But you're a mother now.
Yes.
You'll leave the baby with these people sometimes for 2 or 3 days and go stay with your sister and y'all party, right?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that reasonable to you?
Yes.
That's reasonable to you. And how old's your baby?
6 months.
6-month-old baby. All right, well, let's take a break. We're going to meet Dessalene's twin, who says she was supposed to go out that fatal night, but she didn't. We'll hear why she changed her mind when we come back.
When Dessalene is hanging out with her sister, that usually means that there's alcohol involved.
When I get around my twin sister, I will drink more than I should.
Sometimes I expect to get a call saying that she's locked up.
And later, was she responding to something that she thought you had done or not done?
I don't care what she thinks. Just don't call me a bad mom because I'm
Well,
a
you
good
obviously
mom.
do care what she thinks because you were going to put your baby in the back seat and go whip her ass. We're talking to Desaline, the sole survivor of a teen drunk driving accident that claimed the lives of her two friends. Now, she's been trying to live in the present, but even her twin sister says that she just hasn't been able to let go of the past. Take a look at this.
Desaline calls me when she wants to go out and have fun.
When I am around my sister, I feel like she encourages me to drink and party.
Desaline is a bit like Peter Pan. She doesn't want to grow up. When Desaline is hanging out with her sister, she likes to, as she says, turn it up, and that usually means that there's alcohol involved or some kind of substance.
When I get around my twin sister, I will drink more than I should.
I've been worried when she's out with her sister drinking and partying that something's going to happen. Sometimes I expect to get a call saying that she's locked up.
Desiree, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
I've said I have some concerns that emotionally she is damaged by this. She is hurt by this still. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I think so. When she gets mad, I guess she just gets like psycho mad.
What are you shaking your head about?
They'll get psycho mad. Some people contain their anger and then they have to battle it within themselves. I let it out so I don't have nothing to battle when I go to sleep at night.
What are we likely to see when you get upset?
Well, I talk to myself first. Like, I tell myself, is this person really serious? Like, do they know who they're messing with?
Have you bloodied her nose before?
Yes, I did.
You bloody my lip, not my nose.
Your lip. Now, when you get mad, you say you kind of black out?
Yes,
You,
sometimes.
you just have blank, you don't know what all happened in there.
Like, I mean, I know what I'm doing, but it's just, I can't control my anger. Like, I have to get you.
Do you get so mad that you have said, I will kill you and your whole family?
Yes. I'm not violent. I'm actually a very sweet person. You have to bring me out of character and take me to that point where I'm going to put hands on you for me to tell you that stuff.
Okay, and what gets you there? What kind of things get you there?
People being ignorant, you're not listening to me, you talking over me, you threatening me, not giving me, sometimes, like, not giving me what I want, and basically, like, irritating me.
How am I doing?
You getting up there.
I'm climbing the ladder?
Yes.
I mean, I know I've passed irritating.
Yeah.
I'm irritating you.
Very much so.
Twin, that's not nice.
You what?
She said that's not nice.
But I'm not ignorant.
No, you're not being ignorant. You're just irritating.
And I am listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to help you. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm not trying to be critical of you. I think you made some serious mistakes that night, and you admit some of them, and I mentioned the others. But I also think that you were a victim as well. All right, let's take a break. Next, Desaline claims to love being a mom, yet she also says her 6-month-old annoys her too when he cries, and she admits to almost throwing her baby across her car in anger. I said almost. She didn't do it. Was what happened something that caused her to have an extra steep hill to climb in being able to connect as a mother? We'll be right back.
Desaline has little patience and tolerance for Jaden.
She still wants to party. She still wants to drink. Jaden stays here. She goes out and does what she wants to do, and then she comes back.
Where's your toys?
Desaline had told me in the past that she never wanted kids.
When Desaline said that, I was a bit shocked, But the reality is, she has a child. She is a mother.
I never wanted kids. Since I'm a new mom, one of the hardest things for me is when he's crying. I've changed him, I've burped him, I've fed him. Like, nothing is working. It annoys me. I lose all hope. I don't know what to do. It gets me angry.
Desaline has little patience and tolerance for Jaden. There's been times when she's put him out of her room and just left him in the hole because he was crying.
My biggest fear, if I don't change my rage, anger, and drinking, is that I'm gonna end up losing my son.
I'm curious, you say that your fear is that if you don't get, like, your rage and maybe your drinking and partying under control, that you could lose your son.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that?
Because maybe I can get angry and hurt him, but I would never do that.
But do you think about it sometimes?
Yeah.
You think about hurting. What do you think about?
I think about maybe if I get too angry. Well, I never get angry at my son. First of all, I never get angry at my child. Only reason I almost threw him, I didn't throw him. Like, somebody was irritating me. I wanted to put him in the car seat. The car seat was on the other side of the car. So I, like, put him in the car seat, and I was gonna get that person.
And what had that person done, by the way?
She called me a bad mom.
Why did she do that?
Because she talked too much.
I mean, was she responding to something that she thought you had done or not done?
I don't care what she thinks. Just don't call me a bad mom because I'm a good
Well, you obviously do care what she thinks because you were going to put your baby in the back seat and go whip her ass. So you do care, obviously, what people
I care
think.
about like the fact that she had all the nerves in the world to come call me a bad mom. That's what I care about. I don't care about her actually deep thinking and thinking, oh, Desaline is a bad mom. I don't care about that. The fact that you had enough nerves to come say it to me, you deserve an ass whooping. So she was gonna get it.
Right there with your baby there?
No, he was gonna be in the car seat.
Oh, you were going to put him in the car seat and then you were going to have a fight beside the car?
Come back, right?
No, inside the car.
Oh, inside the car?
Yeah,
Why didn't the fight happen?
because of Mike.
Yeah. You got fired from a job, right?
Yeah,
Why did you get fired?
because I fought my coworker.
Am I right in understanding she was 16?
Maybe. I don't know how old she was.
Do you know what happens if that happens? I mean, do you understand
Yeah,
assault
now.
and battery on a minor
Yes, it was explained to me.
and jail and baby? So we got baby, I can whip this girl, go to jail. Where's the baby then?
I wasn't thinking about that at the time.
You don't think you party too much?
I'm 20 years old.
So you just wanted to remind me that you're not legally drinking age yet? Thank you. We've talked to these folks about behaviors that are questionable in terms of your parenting. I made a list, and I'll tell you what it is, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Wow. They observe that you're on the phone or FaceTime and that that's a top priority versus your child.
I disagree.
Okay? That you get annoyed when the baby cries.
I disagree.
That you have others at home that hold and care for the baby.
All right, I can do it by myself.
September 13th, you fight with this underage employee at work. You get fired from your job. You get your last paycheck and you give it to your sister for rent. And they say on average of about twice a month, you go to Desarine's to party for 3 to 5 days while they babysit.
It's not 3 to 5 days. It's just like from Friday to Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yeah.
That's 3 to 5. You don't think you party too much?
I only go out like once or twice a month. I'm 20 years old.
You just wanted to remind me that you're not legally drinking age yet? Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. But Look, here's my concern. I think that what happened to you in that car crash was the result of irresponsible and reckless behavior on everyone's part. I think it was reckless for them to serve you in that club. I think it was reckless for them to let you leave and get in a car and take off when somebody was drunk. I think your attitude was reckless and cavalier and saying, boy, if we get killed tonight, we know where we're going. I think it was reckless to be doing 94 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone and hit a brick wall and kill 2 people. So what I look at is, did you learn from that?
Yes,
because after the fact, I see here's her behavior before this event happened. Here's her behavior after this event happened. I see some things going on with you that I think you are suffering from PTSD. I haven't evaluated you fully. I haven't done all the right tests. I haven't scanned your brain, done psychometrics. But based on what I'm seeing, that would be on my short list of considerations. I think that you are out there venting anger in a violent way, and you don't have the right to do that when you have a child at home. That's just what I'm telling you. And next, we return to the crash site with the affiliate reporter who covered this story. We're going to talk about what I mean when I say PTSD and from where it emanates. We'll be right back.
The car came barreling up on the sidewalk. You could see tire treads on the grass here, catapulted up onto this brick wall. The crash was so violent that it actually flung parts of the vehicle into the air, and all the time, Dessalines was rolling videotape. They were traveling, according to police, at speeds of 94 miles per hour. This is a 40-mile-per-hour zone. They came around that bend, and it was clear the driver lost control. The car came barreling up on the sidewalk. You could see tire treads on the grass here, catapulted up onto this brick wall. The crash was so violent that it actually flung parts of the vehicle into the air, and all the time, Dessalines was rolling videotape. And what was particularly chilling is the tape continued to roll, even after the death of her 2 friends. Has anyone ever seen videotape of a drunk driving crash in progress that leaves 2 young people with promising lives dead? After Dessalines survived something so traumatic, I don't think it's all that surprising that she ended up pregnant, that she was tossed out of the house, that she continued to drink, because frankly, she never got the help that she desperately needs. And I believe Dr. Phil can give Dessalines the help she needs.
Well, we're very fortunate today because joining us from the audience is that reporter that you just saw, news reporter Andrea McCarran. Andrea, you didn't just report this as another story on the news. You created a cautionary tale here. You created a story within the story that changes people's lives when they watch it.
Dessalines and I spoke. I took her with me on speaking engagements. We spoke to young people. She was brave enough to share that horrific video so other young people wouldn't have to live it.
You know, you said that afterwards, and you said at the very top of the show that you did this and things didn't change for you. The pain didn't ease. Things didn't change for you. And I want you to know why I think that's the case. And when I say that on the short list of diagnostic considerations that I would have would be PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, the symptoms of that are dreams and nightmares, intrusive recollections, reliving the trauma as illusions or kind of like hallucinations or dissociative flashbacks, intense psychological distress at exposure to certain cues, psychological reaction to cues, avoiding thoughts, feelings, or conversations, avoiding activities, places, or people, feeling of detachment, irritable or aggressive behavior. Joining us now is Dr. Frank Lawless. He's the president of our advisory council, and he is the author of the PTSD Breakthrough, the revolutionary science-based Compass Reset program. Frank, you and I have talked about this, and you believe that she may well be suffering from PTSD, correct?
Absolutely. She meets most of the symptomatology, and especially with regard to the kind of brain dynamics that are common with PTSD. I think she clearly is part of that picture.
Yeah, and in your defense, and I think you need one, with regard to some of the choices you're making, some of this is involuntary on your part, I believe. And I'll tell you guys why. This is the human brain, okay? And there is a part of the brain that's called the amygdala. And it is very important because it's kind of a recording device. And I'm gonna let Dr. Lawless talk us through this and show us what it is. All right, Frank, go ahead.
Okay, the amygdala is kind of like, as you said, more of a recording of the emotional component of memory. So if you have a memory and the amygdala doesn't record anything, then it basically just becomes a memory. But in certain kind of traumatic situations, it records that permanently until you can dissolve it and resolve it.
And so that trauma can be relived and relived and relived, both consciously and unconsciously, which can leave you emotionally distraught until something happens. And there are ways to deal with this, Dr. Lawless, correct?
Absolutely.
And nurturing and healing the brain. And a couple of examples of what you do are changes in nutrition and hyperbaric chamber. The second thing that's important is cleansing the brain of toxins and poisons. And you have to make reconnections and take control of the disoriented brain. And this is done with biofeedback. Do you get that there's brain involvement here that might be causing you to experience rage and make certain decisions that you might not otherwise be making? And you need help with all of this.
Yeah.
And do you think you do?
I think I need a little help.
A little help?
Yes. Because
Okay.
I don't, like, I'm not crazy.
Nobody's saying that.
I'm a great mom.
Crazy wasn't on that list that I just went over.
I'm a absolutely awesome mom. And only thing I need help with is, like, anger and like forgetting that night, and then that's what's on my list.
What's on your list is get rid of the anger and not let that night keep coming back to haunt you.
Yes.
You really want to be free of that, right?
Yes.
All right. There's someone with a message for Desaline when we come back. People have been tweeting throughout the show, and one of our viewers, Dana Bardson, tweeted, "You survived the crash for a reason. You're not only responsible for your son's life, you need to live for those other girls as well." And we're going to flip Dana from Twitter up to Polly. Hi, tell me what you mean by what you were just saying to Desaline on your tweet.
Having been through trauma myself at 17, I know it's hard to get through, and I know that there's a difference between just surviving and then moving on to then live your life. And I don't think that you're living your life when you're medicating yourself with alcohol and substances.
You're exactly right. I mean, that's what I'm saying, and I appreciate you adding to it because you do relate to her. You've been through a terrible, terrible ordeal, and you need help to get back to being who you are. And I want to offer you that help. You know, not here, but back home. I want to arrange for you to have the treatments that we discussed here. And I think as you look at these things, as some of this fog clears in your brain, I think you will look at these things and go, wow, I can do a better job here. And I think you have a problem with rage, which you agree. I think you have a problem with alcohol, which I don't think you agree with. I think you just think you party sometimes. And if you need help with that, I will help you with that as well. You need help. I think you deserve help. Absolutely. I know your son deserves for you to get the help, and I'm offering it to you if you will take it.
Yes.
Will you take it? Leah? Okay, good. All right, I'd like to thank all of my guests today and all of the viewers that live tweeted. A special thanks to Dr. Frank Lawless. For more information on his book, PTSD Breakthrough, log on to drphil.com. And a special thanks to Andrea McCarran from our Washington, D.C. affiliate, WUSA. Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Today on Dr. Phil.
I'm in a no-win situation between my son and my husband.
He's been called a deadbeat son.
Donna says there is one person who she thinks is poisoning her son's mind.
Now.
I hate my mother. The woman is a sociopath.
You believe she's toxic?
She's very toxic.
And your son is now living with her.
Yes.
Meet Grandma.
My mother is demonic.
I never wanted to have children. I hated kids. After my son was born, I told the doctor to tie my tubes or I'd kill the next one. When Shauna was 3 days old, I threw her down on the floor in my bedroom.
I know that your brother lost his life. She told you that the wrong child died. How do you feel when you hear her say those things?
She's evil. I hate her.
Well, Ed says that he is ready to divorce his wife of 2 years if she doesn't cut the cord from her 23-year-old son, Chase. He says she gives Chase money, buys him cell phones, even pays his child support for his 2-year-old son. But Jonna says Ed doesn't have kids, so he just doesn't understand. She wants Ed to stop butting in and mind his own business. Take a look at what happened last time.
I love my wife, Jonna, but I want to tell her son to get off his ass, lazy ass.
Chase knows how to manipulate me, making me feel bad, telling me I'm a horrible mom.
Are you enabling him?
I was enabling him.
Before you answer that question, have you ever seen this show before?
I watch your show religiously.
Let me hit the rewind button here. Are you enabling him?
Yes.
Thank you.
My childhood sucked. It was lonely. I mean, I had nice things, but like, the main thing I needed was her. She wasn't there. My mother's always does put men before everything.
You think you've gotten a bad deal from your mother?
I do.
She wasn't there for you?
She wasn't there when a lot of times now. My grandmother is the mom I should have had. I am not working right now. I'm doing school full time. I only play video games like maybe 3, maybe 4 hours a night.
Do you look for a job all the time?
Yeah.
If you don't have a full-time job, your full-time job is looking for a full-time job.
I understand.
You get on a bus and go look for a job.
Yeah.
Didn't you get him a bus pass?
I've never ridden a bus. I don't know how to do it. I said if you would like show me.
You're 23 years old and you're saying you needed somebody to show you how to ride a bus?
Well, like I've never done anything like that.
But that would be a great adventure.
I mean,
when I first found out that Chase and his girlfriend Sydney were going to have a baby, I thought this might be the hello wake-up call for Chase to get his act together.
Do you pay child support?
No. You know, I've helped with stuff.
Because I gathered up all of these receipts of what you spent on this gaming. $1,228.
I know.
How do you spend that on a video game?
I don't know.
When you have a child that needs stuff.
Chase is an abuser, both physically and verbally.
Have you spit in her face?
Not that I know of. I had a severe concussion. I don't remember a lot of things.
Have you pulled her out of the car by her hair?
I have never pulled anybody out of a car.
How do you know you have a concussion? Jonna says she has a terrible relationship with her mother. She says she hates her and refuses to ever talk to her because of what she did to her as a child. Take a look.
I hate my mother. My mother is demonic. She's crazy. I blame my mother for abandoning me and knowing that I was molested, allowing me to be beaten. My mother didn't feel like I was a fit mother. She took it upon herself to kidnap my son at his elementary school. He was gone for 5 whole days. I would love for my mother to feel the pain that she has put me through. But I don't think she'll ever feel that pain. I don't feel the woman has any true empathy for anyone. I think the woman is a sociopath.
Well, that was Jonna. She says so much of her life has been about dealing with issues from the past. Now, today, I want Jonna to examine her own legacy. You know, the truth is that a lot of what Chase says, he's right for the wrong reasons. There is a legacy here that has been passed on from Mother Cindy to Chase's mother here. Cindy admits that she wasn't the best mother to Jonna. Just take a look. We're going to progress through this, and then we're going to talk about why I say you're right for some different reasons.
I've been married 8 or 9 times. I didn't get to have a childhood. I raised my 2 half-sisters, and so I was sick of kids. I hated kids. I never wanted to have children. When Jonna was 3 days old, I threw her down on the floor in my bedroom because she was colicky. My second husband wanted a baby. And of course, I got pregnant immediately. I tried to abort my son. I was beating on my stomach, doing whatever I could to kill this kid. But I had him, and when I first saw him, I fell in love with him. It was like, wow. It was something different. After my son was born, I told the doctor, tie my tubes or I'd kill the next one.
How do you feel when you hear her say that?
I hate her so much.
How do you feel when you hear her say those things?
She's evil. I hate her. She hates me, and I just hate her. Why'd she have me? I was nothing but luggage. She didn't want me.
She throws you on the floor. She beats on her stomach, trying to kill the baby inside
and she
her.
tells me this, too, when I'm like a kid. When I was like, when my brother died, she told me all this.
Well, Cindy says she didn't like children. She says she found them to be a nuisance. Take a look.
I hated kids one time. I was babysitting this child, and she was getting on my nerves. She kept crying and everything. I got so mad, I picked her up, I threw her in a shower, cold water just going on her completely, and she was shivering. You could see her little lips turning blue. She still kept crying, and I got mad, and I threw her down. And then finally I just shoved her in the high chair, and she still wouldn't stop crying, so I slapped the high chair so hard it fell over, and she ended up getting a black eye. Then one time, I was babysitting my husband's distant cousin's children for the weekend. This one, she was 5 or 6 years old and had never been potty trained, so she ended up pooping in her pants. That did it. I shoved the poop in her mouth.
You know, you just wonder what the hell people are thinking. Cindy says that her issues started when she was a kid.
I've tried to kill myself about 100 times. I started trying to commit suicide at age 10. Being molested at the age of 10 through the age of 17, I just couldn't live with it. I felt like used material. I lost my childhood. I was afraid to be near anyone.
Smug, I hate her.
Well, it goes on. Cindy says if Jonna would have been a better mother, Chase would be in a better place. Take a look.
As a mother, I have been a failure. I never wanted children. Jonna knows it, but I'm a great grandma. My daughter, Jonna, has been a neglectful, hurtful mom. Jonna has criticized Chase ever since I can remember. Even when he was a toddler, it would break my heart. Jonna has made Chase the way he is today. Jonna thinks I'm an enabler. There's no enabling going on. When I'm gone, I'm afraid that no one will be there for Chase. If I could give Jonna one piece of advice, it would be to give Chase unconditional love. If Jonna doesn't change, I don't know what'll happen. It terrifies me. She's an extreme bad influence on him.
Well, I want to say that I did not invite Cindy to be here today because I didn't feel like it was constructive. I didn't feel like she would add anything rational to this discussion. But I did feel like it was important for you to hear from her about what the history has been here. I am so sorry what happened with you. And I know that your brother was killed. And I know that she blamed you for that. And I know that she told you that the wrong child died.
Yep. At the funeral when I was 7 years old.
That it should have been you.
Yep.
And, you know, I hate that. And for all the parents and adults in the world, may I apologize for her. I'm sorry that that was said to you as a child. That is not a well woman that says that. I mean, you know, she tells you she's been married 8 or 9 times, tried to kill herself 100 times.
I was there, I know.
So you know that's not a well woman, and so I hope you find it in your heart to forgive her and recognize that she is not a well woman. Chase, I know that you love your grandmother, and I hope you continue to love your grandmother, but I also hope that you have a clear view that there's a lot of history there. And my belief has always been that people do the best they can with what they have at the time. And your mother navigated an incredibly rough terrain coming through that and being neglected and blamed and horrible things, and then came through her life and situation, and then lost a child of your own. And I know then your attitude is, then you know what? I'm going to try to do everything for the child that I have. But doing for him, my definition of doing for him and your definition of doing for him are 2 different things. Your gift to him needs to be to empower him, not to punish him, not to criticize him, not to put him down, but also not to indulge him. You need to empower him as a young man. You know, I said you were right for the wrong reasons. You have gotten the short end of the stick in many respects. You truly have. That was then, this is now. What we need to do is change this now. You've said and done things to the mother of your child that you should be ashamed of, you should ask forgiveness for, and you should find the strength to never, ever, ever disrespect this woman again. You should never, ever say those things to this woman again. You should never, ever put your hands on this woman in anger. You should never, ever disrespect this or any other woman, nor you him. But I don't care what she does or what she doesn't do, you should stand in your own power and never, ever do that again, because that's at the expense of your character. Chase, you are a better man than that. I am a pretty good judge of horse flesh, and I'm telling you, you're a better man than that. You have a better heart than that. And you are a better man than that. And you are a better role model than that for your son as he grows up. Do not ever let your son see you disrespect his mother. Ever again, ever. And I know that you have compassion for your mother. Can you imagine being 7 years old, going to bed thinking that you are responsible for the death of your brother? Which is absolute absurdity, by the way, of course.
I know as an adult.
You know as an adult, but you live with it for many years until you finally ferret that out. And that is a heavy burden to bear. When we come back, I'm going to talk about a plan for this family, and I hope it's a plan that might work for your family. We'll be right back. He said, oh, I only spend 3 or 4 hours a night playing video games. 3 or 4 hours a night? 50 weeks a year?
I don't know.
Do the math. Gianna admits that spoiling her 22-year-old son Chase and giving in to his needs and desires has backfired badly. I want to talk to you about this very specifically, and I want to talk to you all about it as a partnership, something I want you all to work at together. And I've written a new book called Life Code. My son Jay published a book. I've written the book, and it's a book that I didn't plan to write. It's kind of actually wrote itself. I mean, it just because I got really passionate about this, and I'm proud to say it's #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for weeks and weeks and weeks now. So it's really, thank you. Which tells me that it's really resonating with people. I think, Ed, you've read that book, right?
I bought her 2 copies.
In that book, I talk about a lot of different things, but one of the things I talk about is parenting. And we never get through parenting, by the way. We just don't get through parenting. And, Robin and I have 2 boys, and they're 25 and...
6 and 33.
20 what?
26 and 33.
My God, 26 and 33.
Yes.
We have 2 boys that are 26 and 33. Well, their birthdays come and go, and they're as different as daylight and dark. But you still have to really parent them even from afar. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is what I call parenting in the real world. And there's a great quote at the top of this chapter. We may not be able to prepare the future for our children, but we can at least prepare our children for the future. And that was said by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what we've been talking about here. And that's what you've said. You said you weren't prepared for the future.
I wasn't.
There wasn't anybody there to teach you about buses. There wasn't anybody there to teach you about this, teach you about that, teach you how to be a father or a husband or a boyfriend or anything of the sort. And he says early on, you weren't there a lot. And so, but the point is, we have to prepare our children for the future. And what I talk about in Life Code is that that future is changing rapidly. It's different than when you were his age and I was his age. And because the rules are changing, we need a new rule book. And that's why I chose the title Life Code. The code has changed. When the game changes, you need new rules. This is a test. So I'm going to see how you do on the test. And everybody at home in the audience can ask yourself this. Your job as a parent is to prepare your children to function successfully at the next level of life. If your kid is 5 and they're getting ready to start school, have you prepared them to function at the school level? If they're getting out of school, have you prepared them to function at the independent living level? If they're getting ready to get married, have you prepared them to function at that level? Did you prepare him to function at the next level of life?
No.
The answer for you is clearly no. You didn't teach him how to find a job, keep a job, manage his money, set up a house, get a car, do the financing. You didn't teach them any of that stuff, did you?
No.
Okay, so number one, that's why I said you're right for the wrong reasons. You said you got jerked around. The truth is right. Number one, you did not prepare your child to function at the next level. Your job as a parent, teach your children to internalize your disciplines and values so they self-police in their lives when you're not around. Did you do that?
No.
I mean, did you give them the discipline? You know, we tell our kids, eat your peas before you eat your pie.
Right. Right.
Then when you're not around, they internalize that. So when they're 23, they go to the cafeteria, they eat their peas before they eat their pie. Did you teach them that? No. Which is why, again, you're right for the wrong reasons. That's why he said, oh, I only spend 3 or 4 hours a night playing video games. 3 or 4 hours a night? That's a lot of hours. 50 weeks a year?
I don't know.
Do the math. That's a lot of hours. Okay? Next, teach your children to self-protect so they can keep themselves out of harm's way when you are no longer around to watch over them. Did you teach them those things? Did you teach him to know where danger is? Did you teach him how to self-protect? No, you didn't. Your job as a parent is to instill in your children a sense of pride and self-worth so they will hold themselves to a standard of performance in meeting their obligations and contributing to society. Does he have the self-pride? Does he have the self-worth?
No.
And again, that's why I'm saying you did not prepare him. That's why I say you are right for the wrong reasons.
I'm sorry.
That's where you got cheated. You didn't do that. And we have to do that. Your job as a parent is to teach your children to have the courage to be honest with themselves, about themselves and others in their lives, so they don't live a lie or become a victim. And boy, oh 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 boy. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to tell yourself the truth, and you have not been telling yourself the truth. You've been accepting things from yourself in terms of your level of conduct with her, your level of motivation, your level of achievement. You are not being honest with yourself. And I'm just telling you, that's not okay. We'll be right back. You've been accepting things from yourself in terms of your level of conduct with her, your level of motivation, your level of achievement. You are not being honest with yourself. So I'm just telling you, that's not okay. There is a formula for being a winner. I write about that in this life code. I mean, it's the Sweet 16. It is the formula for success. And you got to have a defined image. You do. You got to have a defined image. And right now, your defined image is not very good. You don't like yourself right now. You don't like what you're doing. You don't like who you are. And one of the big things is winners deal with the truth. I mean, you want to be a winner? Mm-hmm. You got to deal with the truth. I mean, the absolute bottom line truth. Don't you know the truth when you hear it? If you're worried about something and somebody pats your hand and says, oh, it's going to be okay, they're being supportive. But when somebody comes and tells you the real truth, you know it. You know the truth when you hear it. And you know what your big problem is? You're not dealing with the truth because you're too busy playing a victim. Winners have a plan. They have a plan. You don't have a plan. You're just kind of living day to day right now. You're going to school to get your high school diploma. You're 23.
I know.
When you're in high school and the first digit in your age is not a 1,
I know.
You're falling behind. So you need to get that done. You could get that done like that.
That's almost done.
And then get on. And if you're going to be a firefighter, you know, you need to get yourself in shape.
I know.
You're not going to be a video firefighter, right? You know, where you got to get him up, get him up, get him up, get him up. You start working on those things right now. You got to do that. You got to have a plan. You got to behave your way to success. You got to keep your options open. And there's a real big thing I want you to think about. Number 13 here, lucky 13. You surround yourself with a nucleus of supporters that will help you get what you want. You surround yourself with people that know you, believe in you, that help you achieve your goals. She's in your nucleus. She knows you, she believes in you, and she will help you achieve your goals. She is in that nucleus of supporters and has the ability to help you. And I, by the way, am applying for that position as well.
Thank you.
I would like to be in your nucleus of supporters, and I will help you achieve your goals as well. I said winners deal with the truth, so next up, the key truth. Everything is a negotiation. Everything is a negotiation, whether you like it or whether you don't. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We have heard from your mother.
She's Satan.
And your son is now living with her. Do you worry about living with her? Well, we're here with Chase and his mother, Jonna, and we've been talking about what you do when the fact is your life hasn't worked. I mean, come on. All of us don't have a success-only journey through life. You guys have not had a success-only journey. We have heard from your mother. Not a success-only journey for you, true?
True.
How do you feel hearing from her?
I don't want to hear from her. When I hear her voice, it just makes me nauseous.
You believe she's toxic?
She's very toxic.
And your son is now living with her?
Yes.
So he now is, in your view,
with the most toxic,
in the grasp of what you believe to be the most toxic person in your world.
Satan, yep.
How do you feel about that?
It kills me that he is there with that woman. Because I know that anything I ever say to Chase, correcting him, disciplining him, she totally undermined anything and everything I would say, and to make herself look like the hero to Chase.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think she has your best interest at heart? You don't think she has y'all's relationship at heart?
No,
you don't think she supports that?
No, she clearly said on the video how she felt about me as a child. So.
Yeah. And you don't think she has the ability at this point to have a constructive relationship with you?
Absolutely not.
You don't think she can give that to you?
She is. She's Satan. I mean, that woman is just the most toxic person I've ever. I don't see any hope there for her.
Do you worry about living with her?
Not at all. She doesn't treat me ill or bad at all. She always encourages me, helps me. She helped me with getting my school stuff. She'll go out of her way to do anything she can for me.
Mm-hmm. She thinks of him as a replacement for my brother. When he was a baby, she called him John David. And I said, that is not John David, that is my son.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that you need to be aware of is that she may have the capacity to go to a dark place.
No, I understand that.
And you need to be cognizant of that, right?
Yeah. If she takes her medicine, she's okay, but when she's off it, you don't want to be there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
That's
okay. I mean, just so you're cognizant of that.
Yeah, I definitely know. Yeah.
Because you don't want to be naive about it. You don't want to be in denial about that. And I don't say that to be unkind about her. I deal with the mentally ill on a regular basis for the last 35 years. And I don't judge those people. It is an illness. I don't regard her as Satan, as do you.
I just think she should take responsibility for her illness.
I understand, but I do understand that it is an illness, so I'm not trying to be mean-spirited about her, but I'm saying you do need to recognize.
No, I definitely recognize.
And I've always said there are people in my life that have done things from a point of mental illness, and I forgive them, but I don't forget them, and I don't fail to recognize them when I see them coming down the street. I say, yeah, I forgive that person, and I'm going to keep a real close eye on them as they go by. So you just need, I'm just saying, just be cognizant of that, because I don't want her to become toxic in your life. And so you just need to be cognizant of that, and I'm just saying, okay? Now, you two have the chance to hit the reset button in your relationship in your life. You have a chance to hit the reset button here. Do you want to do that? You two have the chance to hit the reset button in your relationship in your life. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Do you want to do that? I just gave your mother a parenting test, and she went 0 for 5, right? I mean, that's just the truth of it. I'm not sugarcoating this. She went 0 for 5 on what I think are 5 critical elements of parenting. Now, I could have gone others. Did she love you? Of course. Did she nurture you and provide for you, love you and house you and nurture you? And all? I could have put 5 more elements up there that would have been yes, 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 and yes. But in those 5 preparatory elements, she went 0 for 5. And that is tough for you. That was then, this is now. And you need to hit the reset button. And you know, he has not done some of the things that he needs to do, and he has said unkind things to you out of frustration and immaturity. And I want you to forgive each other and start fresh. And you know, you resent this guy down here. He just happens to be in love with your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's about it, though. That's all I see.
Well, that's all it does matter. I mean, you want your mother to have someone that loves her, right?
Well, of course,
but
I think she could just, I mean, I'm gonna be truthful, I think she can just do so much better.
You are 23 going on 13 with regard to relationships. I don't mean that to be a smart ass. I'm saying, again, there are things you don't know about this.
Exactly.
And you need to let them have that relationship. I think he does love your mother, and I think he wants the best for her. And it might not be who you would pick, but that's not
my decision.
That's not your decision, and you need to support her in her decision. And I've told him to stay out of y'all's relationships, not his business.
Thank you.
And really, and it's not your business. You just support her and then stay out of that. It just never works. And you two need to negotiate a new relationship, and it is, and everything's a negotiation. And so I want to talk about that real quick. Everything's a negotiation. And I want to take the mystery out of that. I love this quote: "We cannot solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." So that means start fresh here. And I talk about this in Life Code. I mean, there's a whole section on negotiation in Life Code. And so I want you to read that. Winners, I said when I was talking to you about the Sweet 16, winners deal with the truth. Now here's a key truth. Everything in life is negotiated, okay? Everything. And some people know it and some people don't. If you go to the grocery line and 2 of you walk up to the checkout stand at the same time, that's a negotiation. You have been negotiating with Chase for years and losing for both of you. You have been negotiating with yourself for years and losing for both of you, because you've been negotiating, am I going to do what I need to do, or am I going to do what makes me feel good? And you have been losing for both of you. You've been negotiating with Ed for at least 2 years and losing for all 3 of you. Because even though he has no role in this, He has been a voice of reason here. If he had written a couple of years ago, we'd be 2 years further down the road right now. And one thing you're going to have to thank him for is he did right. He did get you here, and all the things that are getting ready to happen in your life, which you're going to like.
I thought she did it. I didn't know.
I begged. I didn't write, I begged.
For you.
I did this for us. I did this for your mother. I did this for you. I did this for this beautiful woman that's sitting here. And I did this for your 2-year-old son.
He was the mover in all of this. So you've been negotiating with Chase for years, losing for both of you. You've been negotiating with yourself for years, losing for both of you. You've been negotiating with Ed for 2 years and losing for all three of you. I'm negotiating with you for now, and I do not intend to lose for any of us. This is a negotiation. This is a negotiation. And I'm going to tell you, when I say negotiation, this is not a confrontation. It's a goal-oriented collaboration. You assert your rights here, and you start by outfaring the other side. I always go into negotiation outfaring the other side. Figure out what he wants, and you spend as much time as you can trying to get him as much of what he wants as you can. Figure out what she wants, and spend as much time as you can trying to get her as much of what she wants as you can. Because you want different things. So you can give so much of what she wants without it costing you anything. In most negotiations, people want different things. It's like a kid comes home, his mom says, all right, curfew, 12 o'clock. He says, oh, I want one. No, 12 o'clock. I want one. You think, oh, we're at an impasse. No, listen, they want different things. Mom wants safety. I want to know my kid is safe, and I don't want him on the road after 12. And he's saying, oh, Mom, everybody's having fun at 12, and I got to go home. And so maybe you can negotiate, oh, look, Mom, I'll tell you what, if I'm at Billy's house at midnight, verified, confirmed, and I stay there, is that okay? Can I do that? Yes, you can do that. Then we'll make that okay. You can negotiate those things back and forth. Figure out what each other wants. That's what I say. Learn what they want and resolve to get them as much of that as you can. Okay, you guys are going to figure this out. You're going to negotiate this so you can rejoin your relationship and support one another. And I'm going to tell you what I want to do. I'm going to tell you what I want to do. This is a negotiation. I want you to do a lot of growing up in a short period of time. I want to get you some professional help. I want to start by getting you a life coach. I want to get you a hand-picked life coach that is going to come in and help you set some goals, academically, career-wise, and occupationally. I want to get you a professional trainer. I want to get you someone that is really up to speed on everything that is going to be required of you to become a firefighter. Every obstacle course, every academic training, everything that is going to be required of you to step in to firefighting qualifications, so when you step there, you're standing tall. You can pass the academics, you can pass the qualifications for physical, you can do everything involved with that. I'm going to get somebody that has you show up like the Terminator when you step up there. So I want to get you a life coach, I want to get you a trainer, I want to get somebody that will prepare you for the academics. So when you decide you want to step up and be a firefighter, you got everything knocked when you step up to do that, if that is in fact what you want to do.
Thank you, it is.
Okay, and that life coach is going to also work with you on the issues that you need to deal with concerning anger and the issues that you've got maturity-wise to get you going, to get you that professional help. And I think you're going to see huge changes in a short period of time. Will you take that help from me?
I will.
Well, that's our first negotiation. I think it went pretty well. What do you think? The one thing Johnny needs to do when we come back. You guys know I am really big on family. It is not too late for Jonna and Chase to have a great relationship. I mean, you guys need to make it a priority for the two of you to have a healthy and happy relationship. And what you need to do is not let the pendulum swing too far. I don't want you to become a drill sergeant. I want you to become a loving and supportive mother. And you're going to have to participate in this therapeutic process that I'm talking about with Chase here. That means you're going to have to be involved and support the things that are set up for him with his life coach, and to be involved. That means you're going to have to let go and let him stand on his own and be a man. It doesn't mean that you cannot love him unconditionally. You know, that's one thing. I mean, it's one thing to, we always rewarded our kids conditionally. If you make A's, you get an A lifestyle. You make C's, you get a C lifestyle. But we're going to love you the same, whatever you make. We're going to love
Today on Dr. Phil.
He was holding her face into the crib.
You don't have the energy to drag yourself out of bed, but you play footsie with ex-boyfriends. They tell me if there is money, you spend it on cigarettes instead of food.
We've never been out of food.
What? You've never been out of food?
You are getting ready to be visited by CPS like a SWAT team. I am not sure that I have ever seen so many irresponsible and reckless behaviors in one family in all of my life as what we are getting ready to talk about today. I am talking about physical abuse, emotional abuse, knives, BB guns, unemployment, forest fires, marijuana, underage and unprotected sex, stealing, pawning, evictions, and a high school dropout. Take a look.
Ralph and Jennifer are each a mess, but combined, they are a parenting disaster.
Give me that. Don't throw your gun. Karen, stop egging them on.
Jennifer's home is completely chaotic.
Stop.
The children have no clear rules or boundaries.
When my mom tries to discipline the kids, they laugh and mock her.
Take your scared. I'm fixing to lose my cool.
My brothers are constantly using knives, BB guns, lighters, matches.
All Jennifer does is drink coffee, smoke, and talk on the phone. Jennifer has completely checked out as a mother.
Because my home life was so overwhelming, I was forced to drop out of school.
Get away! I did it!
I felt like it would be easier on my siblings if I could have a job and be able to provide for them.
Ralph operates like he is at a 14 or 15-year-old level. There have been many times where Ralph has put smoking pot or drinking in front of the needs of his family. My husband and myself and my dad have contributed tens of thousands of dollars, including buying at least 3 cars, rent, utilities, school clothes, birthday parties.
Ralph has always gotten violent with all of the children.
Does he scare y'all?
Yeah, when he's drunk. I don't understand how a mom could sit there and watch a man abuse her children, watch him get arrested, not be there for their birthdays, and her being able to stay with him for that. I'll never understand that, because to me that is the worst thing a parent can ever do.
Now, understand, you haven't even heard my opinion yet. You're just hearing these people talk about each other. Jennifer and Ralph's oldest daughter, Kayla, says her parents, well, she just said they're just not even parents. They just don't act like parents at all. Instead, they have a list of excuses a mile long that they use to defend themselves, explain themselves, and try to make sense out of nonsense. Take a look.
Because I was too harsh in the past, I am too lenient now. The children get away with a lot more.
Cameron!
Our 10-year-old and our 8-year-old have both smoked pot.
I didn't feel that it was the end of the world. I doubt that he even inhaled. I believe that Jennifer has a hard time disciplining the kids because of the medication and the depression that she has.
I would find myself resting like this about 10 hours a day. There are often times I will allow the kids to stay home from school because I just don't have the energy to fight with them.
This is Mommy.
We were just recently subpoenaed to court because they reported my 12-year-old daughter for truancy. I believe my daughter has a hard time falling asleep at night because she worries about our finances.
I have struggled to provide, but the longest I could have been unemployed, technically 6 months, but I always tried to do things that would bring in money.
When we were pawning stuff, what was the hardest thing that you had to lose?
I believe a lot of children go through a lot worse than what our children are going through. If a bad parent is someone that makes a mistake with their kids, then everybody is.
Well, wow. You're watching your life summarized on video here. What's your reaction?
It's hard to believe that this is what our bad choices have resulted in.
Did you need to see it on video to have that awakening? I'm not being sarcastic. Sometimes it takes that. Well, what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
You said something at the end of that tape piece that I isolated because I wanted you to respond to it. Let me play this last thing you said on that tape piece.
I believe a lot of children go through a lot worse than what our children are going through. If a bad parent is someone that makes a mistake with their kids, then everybody is. No, I was asked when I responded to that if I thought there was such a thing as a perfect parent. So, yeah, our house is a mess, but I can take you next door where things are a lot worse.
You have 8- and 10-year-old children that are experimenting with, trying, smoking, doing whatever, marijuana, and you say, oh, it's not that bad. I don't think they even know how to inhale.
No, I just know that growing up, it was around me as a child.
You have 8- and 10-year-old sons, and they're smoking dope, and you're saying, it's not that big a deal. That's what you said.
I know that they tried it. Okay, I do know that. Are they addicted to it? Are they constantly smoking it? No.
Do you smoke marijuana?
No. I have.
Recently.
Excuse me?
Recently?
No, I just passed a drug test and
do they know that you smoke marijuana?
They know that I have in the past, yes, absolutely.
And they've tried it and you say, hey, they're not even inhaling. That to me is, if you were going to list like 10 responses that a parent could have, from 1 being good to 10 being bad, that would be number 17. That's not. I mean, come on. I'm trying to be honest with you. I'm trying to. I'm trying to say. Come on.
I understand, and but I don't know after it was done exactly what I could have done to stop it. It was done with his friends, right out at the picnic table with a bunch of other kids.
You say, I don't know what I could have done. Let me give you a couple of options.
Sure.
They had a few friends over, and so they were just rolling up a joint and smoking it out there, okay? Here are a couple of options. Okay, 1, 2, 3, you friends here, you get off of my property, and don't you ever, never come back here. You don't smoke dope on my property. You two kids that are smoking dope with them, you get your skinny butts up and you get into the house because you have just violated a rule. You don't do illegal drugs on our property here. You are not allowed to do that. And I'm sorry that I've modeled that behavior for you. I was wrong, and I apologize for that. And I won't set that standard for you ever, never again. So you little dope smoking fiends, you get the hell out of here. You two little dope smokers, you go in the house, and I'm going to get busy setting a better example for you. Okay, there would be one option instead of saying, oh, well, they don't inhale.
No, I've done that. I have chased people off the property that were doing that.
Okay, and they tell me that if there is money, which is scarce, that you spend it on cigarettes instead of food.
We've never been out of food.
I'm talking to her.
What?
I know.
What?
Yes.
You've never been out of food?
The cupboards have been bare, but you've provided, other people have provided. We've never been where there's not been anything to eat.
Okay, let me ask y'all something. So just so I know what we're here for, because I'm a change agent. Okay, are we here to defend this or change it?
Change it.
Okay, next we're going to talk about why Ralph thought it was a good idea to buy his sons pocket knives when they were only 5 or 6 years old. We'll be right back.
I had left my daughter to try to put herself to sleep. When I walked in there, Ralph was holding her face into the crib. I think that the boys were about 5 and 6 years old when Ralph let them have their own pocket knives. In fact, Ralph had taught the boys a game where you spread your palm out and you take the knife and go in between each finger and you start moving faster. Noah had attempted that game when Ralph wasn't home and he stabbed himself in the thumb.
Well, that was Jennifer talking about how dangerous and out of control her young sons have gotten with knives. I mean, listen, a lot of kids have little pocket knives at 5 years old, but should they be playing games where they can cut themselves with them? Seriously. No. In addition to getting them their own knives, she says Ralph has also purchased each of their sons BB guns. Do kids have BB guns? Sure. But have they shown the responsibility to have them? Jennifer says Ralph has a history of violence, and she'll never forget what happened one day shortly after she gave birth to their second daughter. Take a look at this, and we'll talk about that.
The one time Ralph was physical with me, my second daughter was less than a year old, and she would cry for 3 and 4 hours. I had left my daughter to try to put herself to sleep, and he lost his cool. And he went into her room, and when I walked in there, he was holding her face into the crib while her arms and legs were wailing. And she was screaming into the mattress. I charged in there. I pushed him, and I think I hit him on his arm, and he pushed me across the room, and I fell into the closet doors, and they broke. There was another occasion where the boys were 1.5 and 2.5 years old, and Ralph had a handful of quarters in his hand, and his way of getting the boys' attention was to hurtle the handful of quarters. He targeted my oldest son and left quarter imprints all over his body. I have told him over and over and over again that if he ever touched the kids again, that I would divorce him. And to this day, I have yet to divorce him. And I don't know why.
Has he continued to be violent at times with the children?
He's made remarkable improvements over the past couple of months.
What do you have to say about that?
I've worked really hard at changing that, and I believe they would all agree we've seen a lot of results.
My concern is that because there was such a long history of violent tendencies and anger towards the kids, that if this is a short term, and that at any given point, because your anger hasn't been dealt with necessarily, that the anger will come back.
I can understand that.
And the kids are still affected by everything that's happened up until now,
Yes.
and they're showing that behavior.
Has he been violent with you?
Yes.
How so?
More so than anybody else, I guess, because I was a stepchild. But just spanking, beating. Spanking turns into beating, and there were points when it didn't turn into from punishment to abuse.
Did he throw a phone book at you a few months ago?
Yes, sir.
Is he throwing a muffin tin at you?
He beat me with the muffin pan, pretty much.
He beat you with the muffin pan?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Angry.
I mean, are you around when this is happening?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. Sometimes I hear about it when I get home from running errands and the kids.
Do you see the impact, the result? Do you see the marks, the bruises?
Yes.
And what do you do about it? Do you protect your children?
Not like I should, no. And I have, addressed Ralph. I've told him, I've threatened him. I guess they were empty threats because he's still here.
Has he held your boys upside down by their feet and spanked them?
Yes.
Have there been times you couldn't go to school?
Yes. I've actually been asked to stay home from school, and I attempted to go because of marks.
So they wouldn't be seen?
Yes, sir.
Ralph says compared to him, the kids aren't that out of control. Let's look at this tape, and then you can comment on it.
When I was growing up, I was extremely active. I did get in fights. I tried smoking in 3rd grade, set a fire in my dresser.
When the boys were 3 and 4 years old, Ralph did teach the boys how to light matches and start fires. Just a couple of months ago, I woke up to my youngest son yelling at me that there was a fire in the woods. I asked where my oldest son was, and my younger son said that he was too afraid to come home because he had started the fire. The fire had reached 20 feet and was about 5 feet wide.
I feel like they're normal, active kids, but because of the lack of discipline, it does get out of control.
Most recently, my oldest son was offended by some insult that his younger brother had said to him, and he pinned him on the couch, and he was covering his little brother's nose and his mouth so he couldn't breathe. It was just the same picture that I saw his dad doing with our daughter that day.
People have always said the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Where were you when the fire in the forest was
I was resting.
Resting. Yeah. Who was supervising the boys?
They were supposed to have stayed inside the house with their older sister.
Who's 12?
Yes.
And where were you?
In my bedroom, sleeping.
Well, coming up, Jennifer says she wants help with her marriage. So if that's true, why is she having an affair? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Ralph Ralph suffocates me with his constant need for love and affection. For a couple of years, I would have to go into the bathroom to pray first in order to be able to have sex with him. I am really fighting, feeling very disgusted by the man who's trying to smother me.
Well, Jennifer says since her own husband discussed her, she found someone who doesn't. In fact, he's an ex-boyfriend from high school she wanted to marry years before she met Ralph. So let's hear what she says about that.
My mom has talked to me for 2 years about an emotional affair she's been having with an old boyfriend. I've talked to him on the phone. I know a lot of what's happened with them, and it adds another burden onto me because I'm like, wow, I can't tell my dad.
This other man is everything that Ralph is not. He is the love of my life. We were talking every day for hours and several times throughout the day.
It made me angry that Jennifer didn't seem to have energy for anything else in her life, but made time to be on the phone or lock herself in her room on her computer.
When I first found out, I was extremely angry. I punched the computer screen, I put a crack in it. In an email, she said to her ex-boyfriend, "I can't wait to give myself to you wholly." And he was the same way back.
I have had this fantasy that I could escape from Ralph and maybe have the life that I always wanted with this other man.
I don't feel like I have any control in stopping her from talking with guys online. She has flat out said, I don't know how to stop. I don't really want to. How do I put my foot down to stop her from doing that without hurting my kids, without destroying the family?
You have this involvement with this ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Because you think he smothers you, and you find that off-putting, so you've now invested in this other person. And you confide in your 16-year-old daughter about this.
Well, just to clarify a little, pardon me, a little bit.
Please.
I wasn't searching for him. He contacted me on Facebook, and I hadn't talked to him in 18 years. And it did start off as just a friendly reconnection, and it was at the lowest point in our marriage. And
Oh, no, hold on. That's already 30 seconds of my life I can't get back. Is this going to change the end result? Are you involved with this guy?
I am.
Emotionally?
Yes.
You're offering this because in some way it justifies the fact that you have violated the adult-child boundary and brought her into the adult issues of infidelity of this marriage and made her complicit in your betrayal of your husband. Great role modeling. And you're doing this while your kid's out in the forest setting a fire. Your cupboards are bare. You don't have the energy to drag yourself out of bed, but you have the energy to play footsie with ex-boyfriend here. I don't get it. I'm sorry. You find him disgusting because he wants to pay attention to you, but you don't find him disgusting because he abuses your children. Is there a compass here? Does anybody know where north is? What? Somebody say something that makes sense.
He's treated our family like crap for years, and now that he wants to step up and, be better, she's already hurt, we're already hurt, and we don't want him there. Oh, I love him, but there's too much hurt in that house and anger.
Yeah, Jennifer is spending so much time having an emotional affair while her kids are living in chaos. In fact, her 10-year-old wrote a note a few months back that I found beyond disturbing. Listen to this and then we'll talk.
I believe it was last November 2012. Our 10-year-old son wrote a note to me he had left on his bed, and it said, "Mom, would you please kill me in my sleep so that I don't have to wake up in the morning? I hate my life." My 10-year-old explained that he just couldn't stand our life anymore. He couldn't stand having no money, and he cannot stand the fact his dad and I smoke.
How does that make you feel when the electricity goes out?
It makes me feel like we need more money. that we don't have enough money to buy the food we need. And the worst part about having money is Mom usually spends it on cigarettes.
I feel helpless and trying to help him.
You know, I don't know what to say. These are really smart kids. They're kids with great potential, and they're just they're just caught in this quagmire. But you know, we're peeling an onion here, and you think this is bad. We hadn't started. Who else is living in the house that I have a problem with? You're going to find that out next, and you think you're shaking your head now? Stay tuned.
When I was 15, I was getting involved with a 21-year-old man. I looked to him as an older brother, and then it turned sexual. That's traumatized me really bad. When my mom found out about him, I told her I didn't really want to, but I did it because I cared for him. She wasn't upset about it. She did end up talking to him, and she blew it all off after that. She didn't feel like he was abusing me. Things just took a wrong turn.
Well, that was Kayla talking about how her mom decided not to press charges against a 21-year-old man Kayla had sex with when she was only 15. Now, Kayla says she's since moved on and now has an 18-year-old boyfriend she loves. And he lives with her and her family.
Kayla's boyfriend lives with our family. I had set up 2 ground rules. Number 1, Ben would have a job. And the second rule is that they were not to sleep in the same bedroom together.
They are still sleeping together every single night on a twin bed in my younger daughter's room.
Kayla and her younger sister used to just share the room, and once Ben moved in, my younger daughter asked to move into the walk-in closet so that she could have privacy from Ben and Kayla.
I absolutely hate it. I actually suggested, why don't you guys get married? And that way I don't have to feel the way that I do when I walk in and see you guys.
I do believe it's damaging to the other kids to have been in the house with him and Kayla having sex and with Ben smoking pot.
You're 15.
16.
And you're having sex with a 21-year-old.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you know about it.
Yes.
Now, that's statutory rape in the state in which you live.
That's right.
But you don't prosecute. Right?
Right.
Okay. Don't get that. Okay, so that goes by. Somebody rapes your daughter. No prosecution. Okay, now you have an 18-year-old boyfriend. He's right here, Ben. How you doing?
I'm good, sir.
Yeah. So Ben moves in and is sleeping in a twin bed with Kayla, who's now 16. And in the other twin bed is your 12-year-old daughter. So you got Ben and Kayla here and the 12-year-old in the other twin bed. She gets uncomfortable because they have sex in this bed, so she goes and sleeps in the closet. Did I run red light here if I got that right? Yes. So you got a 12-year-old that edits this herself and goes and sleeps in the closet so her sister and her 18-year-old boyfriend can have this bed and have sex in that bed. Let me just venture a guess here. You're having unprotected sex.
Yes.
Shock. Are you idiots? You're having unprotected sex. You live in this chaos of children. You got no money, cupboards bare, people aren't working. And so you think you'll just have unprotected sex, and I bet you there's some theory by which that's okay. Give me the theory.
Basically, he's on a medicine that prevents him from having kids for the most part.
Yeah. He's like, what would that medicine be?
It's an antidepressant.
Okay, so this is a medicine, the side effect of which lowers sperm count.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you go test your sperm count? No, you just read that. So you said, oh, no, are you kidding? I get that they're young and don't know any better. Come on. Stop having unprotected sex in the bedroom with your 12-year-old sister in the closet.
We never have sex.
Stop having unprotected sex anywhere. Value yourself enough to say, I am not your playground. You are not going to have a baby with me and then you disappear and I'm left to raise it for the next 20 years. Care enough about yourself to say, no, we are not going to have unprotected sex. And I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. Don't even know him, haven't ever even met him. But I do know what I know. And whether he's a good guy, bad guy, or somewhere in between, care enough to protect yourself. If you don't have a father around to tell you that, or a mother tuned in enough to tell you that, let me tell you that now. Care enough about yourself to say no to people making a playground out of your body and leaving you to pay the rent for the next 20 years. Do not do it. We'll be right back.
I have received several tickets for things like not having car insurance, not having current registration, and because these tickets have gone unpaid, I now have 6 warrants out for my arrest. My sister Darcy said to me that if I ever was arrested and the kids were left home alone with Ralph, that she would call CPS.
I am terrified that my Aunt Darcy will call CPS because that would take such a toll on all of us and it would be more hurtful than helpful. I've had a plan for a long time of taking my brothers and sisters away from my parents, somewhere where they don't feel like they're ignored, somewhere where they feel like they always have a safe place to land. It's not just a dream, it's going to happen because it has to happen.
What do you think about what we've talked about so far?
I know that from this moment forward, it can't be what it's been anymore. And I know that my kids are screaming for help, jumping up and down, lighting fires, screaming for help.
You're depressed, right?
Yes.
One of the symptoms of depression is that there's oftentimes a slowing of the thought process. There's a slowing of behavior. You know, everything just, you're kind of lethargic, right?
Yes.
You have an energy deficit.
Yeah.
And I suspect that you are a hormonal wreck. I suspect if we looked at your hormones, that it would probably be as chaotic as your home. And Ralph, you probably feel like you've made a huge bunch of mistakes here over the last several years, and you have. And I think it's because children learn what they live. And when we go back and look at your history and what you grew up with, what you're doing now has been kind of your norm. You had it pretty rough coming along. This is not an evil man. He's just a guy that is living what he's learned. And how do you know to do anything other than what you've learned? At some point, you have to break that legacy. So that means you've got to learn some different things. Because what's happening to these kids is just crazy. I mean, I said I don't even have the words to describe it. I kind of tried to write it down. You have a 12-year-old daughter. And if you look at everything that's going on, now these are just the things that the family has said. Ralph, unemployed, smokes marijuana, abuses alcohol, doesn't provide financially, violent, abusive, unmotivated, insecure, manipulative, rude, selfish, dishonest, been arrested. All of this impinges on that child. Jennifer, unemployed, irresponsible, sleeps all day, messy house, dishonest, manipulative, selfish, affair, warrants for arrest, depressed. All of that impinges on this child. Kayla, high school dropout, unprotected sex, sleeps with boyfriend in the same room with this child. Slept with 21-year-old at 15, drives without a license. All of this modeling, all of this impinging on this 12-year-old. She hasn't got a chance. She's surrounded. So what happens? Skip school, been to truancy court, pulled knife on Kayla, hits, yells, cusses, calls everyone names, doesn't eat anything but junk food. This child doesn't have a chance if something doesn't change. You got all the same factors, but now you're talking about a 10-year-old son. Everything impinging on him, same stuff coming at him. And what's happening with him? He's experimenting with marijuana, cigarettes, spice, alcohol, physically violent, setting forest fires, skipping school, suicidal note, stole toys from store, and you said I was just too tired to take them back. Right? That's what you said. At the end of the day, I'm just too tired to take them back. Threatened sibling with a butcher knife. And let me tell you, there are 3 markers in here that are serious bad. Setting fires, bad. Experimenting with drugs, bad. Physical violence, bad. Skipping school, all of these things tell you that this kid is at high risk for coming in serious conflict with the law heading into the future. 8-year-old wets the bed, experiments with marijuana and cigarettes. He's skipping school, he's showing anger, and he's showing tantrums. He's just a couple years behind. Same thing. They're headed for serious, serious trouble if something doesn't happen. They deserve better. I have a plan for this family when we come back. Today I'm talking to Jennifer, Ralph, and their 16-year-old daughter, Kayla, and Jennifer's sister, Darcy. It was Darcy that wrote in. It wasn't Jennifer, it wasn't Ralph. These two did not ask for help. Darcy wrote into the show begging for me to help her sister's husband, and their 4 children. And Darcy, I don't know if they thank you for this, but I thank you for doing it. I really do. You didn't have to do it. And I don't know whether y'all are grateful to her for writing in or not. Are you?
Oh, very much so.
Nobody does what y'all are doing on purpose. And I've said, you talked about, Ralph being angry and having rage and stuff. And Ralph, I've said honestly, I don't think you are a bad guy. I really don't. I don't even think you're a mean guy. I think you've just had a brutal upbringing, and I think as a result, you kind of do what you learn. But I think you can learn some new ways. And if I get you some help with that, will you take that?
Absolutely.
I mean, if I got you some parenting help, if I've got some help to make sure that you stayed away from drug and alcohol abuse and got you some parenting instruction to be a leader in your home with your boys, and got you to where you could do some constructive things with these children, you would immerse yourself in that and embrace that, would you not?
Absolutely.
Because I want to do that with you. And Jennifer, I think that I don't know what's going to happen with y'all's marriage. I really don't. And I don't think either one of you know, because you are both so out of balance and out of sorts right now. I don't think you even know. I think you're looking for escape. And who knows what you really want. I think you have some biochemical imbalance. I think you are really dealing with some depression. And as a result, you're making some really bad decisions. And I think that has to be dealt with. And I want to help you do that. And I'm also willing to offer you an alternative to to change some things at home. You know, two of your children, your 12-year-old and your 10-year-old, I would like to offer you an alternative to give those kids a break from that home for a period of time. These kids deserve a break. We need to do something for them, not to them, while it gives us a chance to clean this situation up a little bit. I asked Kristen Hayes to come here today from the Aspen Education Group. Aspen is a network it's a nationwide network of programs that they work with struggling and troubled children and teenagers. And they just have a mission of helping families. Don't you think these kids deserve a healthy environment for a period of time?
Definitely. I completely agree with you. This break in this chaos that is their lives right now. And just as Dr. Phil said, it's not a punishment. This isn't punitive. This isn't a boot camp. You know, it's therapeutic environment with extremely caring staff members to do individual and group therapy. And they're with peers, their same age, to go through this process. In addition to the technical skills they learn, they would also learn things, coping mechanisms and communication skills that will help them throughout their lives.
This situation needs a major change. And I'm telling you, you are getting ready to be visited by CPS like a SWAT team. Let's be proactive instead of turning it over to the state. And what do you think about what I'm saying?
I'm willing to do anything it takes.
Including getting yourself straight.
Yes.
You agree, Ralph?
Yes.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to talk about what it means to turn parent from noun into a verb. Every family needs a hero. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank my guests for being here today, and a special thanks to Kristen Hayes from the Aspen Education Group. Kristen, thank you. For those of you that want to know more about the Aspen Education Group, we'll put a link on drphil.com and research them yourself, make up your own mind. I think they're a great group, and the question is, are they a fit for you? You can take a look and see. Parent is not just a noun, it's a verb. I mean, it's an action-oriented thing. And every family needs a hero. And be that hero. Be the one that says, look, I'm going to rise above the chaos. I'm going to be the change agent in my family. It is never too late to get healthy and do what needs to be done. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.